Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Please grab your seat. Please grab your seat. All right, welcome. Please grab a seat. We're going to get started. Can you guys hear me in the back? Raise your hand if you can hear me. All the way in the back. Yes, awesome. Welcome. It's great to see a full house tonight. It's been a full house every month since the beginning of the year. This is about 2 years that we've been running these events here, Products That Count at Yelp. The first thing I want to say is introduce myself. I'm SC. I'm the founder of Products That Count. I'm very excited to welcome you tonight. I'm also very thankful to our sponsor, Yelp, who's been with us from day one, who is providing, thank you, yes, go for it, who is providing a great venue and beer and wine, and is also a phenomenal place to work at. Rahul, do you want to say a few words about that?
Thank you. So I'm Rahul here. I'm a product manager here. I lead product for our national business. So we target businesses like, State Farm and large brands that are selling advertising. So that's what I focus on here at Yelp. Thank you all for coming. Really appreciate having you all here. Obviously we're hiring, so we have a lot of roles open. So we have Rebecca sitting all the way back there, and the Yelp sign back there. So if you ever have any questions about any of the roles, any of the things that we're hiring for, feel free to reach out to her and talk to her. So thank you again for coming.
One of the questions could be, are they hiring engineers? And the answer is yes. Yes. Okay, so one thing that we do at Products That Count is every month we have a speaker come in, and we bring in real leaders at some of the hottest companies, and we ask them to create new content. And so, earlier this year and at the beginning of Products That Count, we were a little shy, like just something new. And the last, I think, 4 months in a row, we've had brand new talks from all of our speakers. And when I initially spoke with Frédéric about her talk, she said, well, it's not going to be a new talk because you don't reinvent how to scale a product just overnight. And then 2 days ago, I was checking in with her, like, how is it going? I'm like, I got a brand new talk. So I'm very, very excited to hear what she has to say. I've known Frédéric for, 12 years or something like that, because we are both French women and we've both been in Silicon Valley as engineer, product leaders for a long time. And I've been very impressed with the way that she's developed into really a thought leader in product. So very, very happy to welcome her here. One thing I want to say is we have a few giveaways tonight, and so if you want to get them, please tweet using our hashtag here, PTCSF. Frédéric, welcome.
Well, this is a big crowd. This is intimidating. I'm going to be fine. So thank you guys for coming. I'm going to talk about building product at scales, and I'm very excited about it and to share what I've learned and get some questions from you to kind of understand what you're looking for as well at the end of the presentation. So how many of you are product managers? A lot of people. How many of you are aspiring product managers? Okay, great. So I'm going to talk about building product at scale. And when you build product, you want to make an impact. And you want to build something that's going to be meaningful to people. And you want to make it as big as possible. And I run into that quote from the Joker in The Dark Knight that say, now our operation is small. There is a lot of potential for aggressive growth. So today we're going to talk about scaling a product and really take it to the next level. You work hard as product manager and you want to take it to a level where you make an impact and you touch as many lives as possible. I worked at Yahoo I worked at Photobucket, SmugMug, and most recently at Uber, and I scaled a lot of product, and I built a lot of product. And it takes a lot of effort, but it's also a lot of fun, because you're really impacting a lot of people. This is what scale looks like from the outside. You look at Uber, and it started with one city in 2010, and then 5 years later, it was more than 400 cities in 68 countries. This is hypergrowth, and you see the up and to the right. This is impressive. And every time we would launch a new city, we would go faster and faster and faster, both domestically in the US and internationally from day one. This is what scale looks like on the inside. In 2 years' time, we moved to 4 different offices around Soma. We would get into a new office and it would be empty with a lot of chairs. And by the time, a few months later, we would burst at the seams and we would have to add more chairs and go over and over again, scale on the people level. So when you scale product, it's not just about scaling the company and scaling the product. It's also scaling people. It's scaling yourself. So you really, what I'm going to talk about you today is about thinking big. It's not about just execution. Yes, when you build a product, it's about executing and shipping fast. We know that. But it's also thinking big and thinking the big picture first and then moving fast. And then it's also scaling your culture. Do you really think that we could have done it at Uber or even at Yahoo or in small companies if you don't scale people, if you don't scale yourself and you grow out of your comfort zone to get to the next level and to really scale with your product? You cannot do it without doing it on a personal level as well. So that talk is going to be about balancing the personal and the people scaling and the product scaling and the company scaling to build the best product ever. So first of all, you need to think big. You need to think big picture. What does it mean? It means that you need to have a mission. So many times people just get into execution mode and just are ready to go and shipping a product because it's all about execution, right? But you really need to look at the mission that you're buying into and the mission that you want to accomplish. You look at Uber. The mission was about being everyone's private driver. And we started with a black car business, but we had the potential to get into other area of the product to be really everyone's private driver. We then pivoted to serving UberX for being really everyone's private driver, and then autonomous vehicles. So you need to have a mission that is big enough at the company level, but you also have to have a mission at the product level. You're probably a product manager for one team. And even that team needs to have a specific mission. And I put this pizza picture because within Uber we really adopted the two pizza team, where you need to have teams that are small enough to be able to really feed the team with 2 pizzas at night if you stay late. And we stayed a lot of time very late. So you want to have a mission within your team so that when you work with people, you know what you're trying to accomplish. Let me give you an example. When we were part of the driver team, the driver experience team, we would have some metrics around driver engagement. And what does it mean? It means that we had to obsess about driver engagement over and over and over again. And it means that you need to look at perks for drivers to be able to steal the system. It means that you look at vehicle licensing and being able to allow people, drivers to lease a car so they can be on the system. So they would stay and engage on the system. So you really need to have a mission within your product to really obsess about that mission and get things done. Then you need to define success. What does success mean? So when I joined Uber in 2012, the team was redesigning the rider app. But because, you want to have an app that is a little bit less more user-friendly and that is more elegant. That's what we had at the time. But we also wanted to improve the driver experience. It doesn't matter to have the best rider app if you don't have drivers on the system to be able to meet the demand of our riders. You want to be a reliable car service. You don't want to be a service that surges all the time. So our definition of success was not to have the best rider app. Our definition of success was really to be able to have as much liquidity, driver liquidity on the system. So you really need to look at what is your definition of success. Is it to make money and to surge all the time and to charge our user, as much money as possible? Or is it about being reliable and having a car whenever you need to at the cheapest price possible? So really look at what is the definition of success. And then you need to measure your impact. What is the impact your product is making? This is an example of us paying drivers every week, and we would make sure that we wouldn't fail at paying drivers every week. And our system was bursting at the seam, and we needed to pay drivers reliably. But at the same time, if you remember 3 years ago, if you entered an Uber and you wanted to go to work, the driver would be like, how do I get there? There was no driving direction into the driver app, and it was frustrating for the rider to be like, this is how you need to get to my work so I can get to work. But it was more important for us to pay drivers reliably than to provide driver directions. So you need to look at what is the impact you're trying to make and what it is that you want to do to be able to provide the best service for your user. So when you look at product, you need to really look holistically. What is your mission? What is your definition of success? And then what is the impact so you can really prioritize how you want to build your product. Because when you go fast, if you go fast in the wrong direction, it doesn't matter. You really want to go fast in the right direction. So if you have the right mission, the right success, the right definition of success, and the right impact, then you can move forward and go as fast as possible. But if you don't have the right direction and the right mission, it doesn't matter. You're wasting your time. And who wants to waste their time? So now you need to go fast. And we all know that we need to go fast because the world is just moving faster and faster, and it's becoming easier and easier to code and to just release product. But then a lot of people are like, just ship the product, and then if you're ashamed, it's okay. You're just going to keep iterating. Yes, it's okay. You want to ship as fast as possible, but you want to still have a good experience for your user. Like, you only have one chance to make a good impression. And if you screw up the first impression, it's going to be very hard to get your people back on the system. So this is an example of Uber with Uber Ice Cream. We decided to do a lot of experiment at Uber, and we wanted to really have like a good experience for Uber Ice Cream. Well, in the back end, we were scrambling to create a new car type for ice cream, like it was just like an Uber X or Uber Black Car, it was an ice cream. But in the front end and in the experience in real life, it was actually a good experience. Same with fare split. The team at Uber really wanted to be able to share a fare with their friends because we didn't want to pay for all the rides. We worked at Uber, but we didn't want to pay for everyone. So we decided to do a hack and to create a fare split feature like in a weekend. And then when we showed it to Travis, it's like, the experience sucks. There is no integration with the address book. You cannot pull your contact. If they are not on the system yet, it's going to be a pain to register. You need to find your friend's number when you're in the car at midnight and you're drunk. And so no, we're not going to launch it like that. We're not going to launch a product that is half done. So yes, you can scramble in the back end and make it work in the back end as much as you can. But from an experience standpoint, there needs to be an address book integration. You need that. So you really need, even though you need to ship fast, think about your MVP and how you want the experience to still be better than, so-so. And then you want to iterate faster and faster and faster. And you need to have a good methodology for that. This is one of our Uber launch in Melbourne in the New Year's Eve of 2012. And we had a playbook to launch cities. And we were at week 1, we do this, week 2, we do this, week 3, we do this. And then we decided for this launch to just go faster, because why not? And then after that, we kept iterating, and every time someone would launch a city, we would incorporate the feedback and be like, okay, here you need to do this, we can simplify that. And we would just keep iterating on this playbook so that we could go faster. And when you saw the graph about launching cities, it would just go faster and faster because we were improving the processes. Same when you launch an engineering product. You do post-mortem and you learn and you iterate constantly. And then you want to be able to disrupt yourself. If you have the right mission and you have the right metrics in place, you need to think about how do you want to go about launching a product that is still relevant and that will get you to be a winner, a few years from now. You cannot be on autopilot. Yes, it's great to be able to launch product fast with a great experience. Yes, it's great to iterate faster. But if you keep iterating and you're just not being innovative, what's the point? Someone else is going to do it for you. You look at Facebook, they disrupted themselves. You look at Uber, we did Uber X when all my friends were like, you're crazy, you're a black card business, you're luxury. People will think your brand is deteriorating. But really, it was important to be everyone's private driver. Same with self-driving cars. We needed to be innovative because otherwise someone else will do it. So you need to think about being outside of your comfort zone. And when you build product, as much as you need to iterate, you need to also ask yourself the question, what do I need to do to take it to the next level? Otherwise, you're never going to be able to scale and you're never going to be able to win. And then I think the most important section for me is really to scale your culture. Scaling your culture has been something that we did extremely well at Uber and that you need to do if you want to be able to scale your product. Because you won't be able to do it on your own. You need a team to do it with you, and this team is going to keep getting bigger, and you want this team to get bigger the right way. So you first need to be a leader. As a product manager, you really need to be a leader. And I know that Travis, as a CEO of the company, has been a very, an inspiring leader because he made of us to be the CEO of our own product. He would get busy with regulatory issues and would let us really drive the product and really work on taking it to the next level in different areas. So when you look at how we scaled Uber, we really try to keep the DNA of the company and spread it in all areas of the company. You look at September 2012, we were all in a cab in Tahoe, and it was one team. One team with one roadmap and one list of features that we would work on. I would grab this, Mina would grab this one, we would just grab different feature and just make things happen. Then 6 months later, we became too big, and we had to kind of start narrowing down the different areas of the product so we could really focus on and go full speed ahead on different areas of the product. So 6 months after I joined, we decided to split the product into 9 different teams. You had the driver experience, you had the rider experience, you had the mobile team, you had the dispatch team, real time, etc. We had 9 teams, and I was in charge of the driver experience. We were very small at the time, and then we kept getting bigger. And then at some point we get too big. What do? We spin off teams out of this team. And we really try to keep the DNA of the company by nurturing my engineers and make them into managers. So you really get them into becoming leaders. So not only they would get career growth because they can get to the next level and start leading a team on their own, but it would be also keeping the culture because they lived the culture of Uber in the early days and they could replicate it within their own team. But of course it sucked because I love these people and I wanted to work with these engineers. But every time my team went from 5 people to 10 people, we would spin off 5 people and create a new team. And I would lose them. And we would have to hire all over again and all over again. Yes, it was very painful, but also it allowed us to not stay in our comfort zone. We always had to stretch ourselves and to really get into a level where we had to really think about how do I keep hiring and hiring the best people that will at some point become mini leaders as well. So that was critical for us to be able to scale this culture and keep the DNA of the company and spread it into different areas of the company. And then you want to embrace diversity. We talk a lot about diversity these days, about having more women in tech, about, all diversity in general. I would tell you this made a huge difference in all the companies I worked at. First, when I was at Yahoo, it was diversity of seniority level in the engineering team. We had senior engineers. We had junior engineers who had just graduated from college, and they were all working really well together. It was not about a team of rock stars from Ivy League with Ivy League degrees that were all arrogant and wanted to be the best. It was just a team of people that wanted to work together, and it was beautiful. You had the senior engineers that wanted to coach the junior engineers and mentor them, and you had the junior engineers that were learning so much from all these amazing senior engineers. And that was beautiful. And you can see where is she? She's here. He was the engineering manager in the team, and now she works at Uber too, and this is amazing. And then you want to also create this diversity at every level of your company. I know that within Uber, I wanted my engineering team to be 50-50. So we had a lot of women that we hired, and we wanted to keep this balance because it was healthy for the organization. And we also had within Uber a lot of people that had a lot of humility, because you had a very strong engineering team, but you also had a very strong operational team in the field, which means that engineers were not able to do anything if you didn't have operation people in every one of the 400 cities that were actually onboarding drivers and getting things done on the field. And at the same time, the operational people that were in the field couldn't get anything done without the engineers working on scaling the system and making things happen in the back end. So it was not just engineering centric, it was this great balance of engineers and operational people. And then we started to launch internationally from the very beginning. So it was not US centric. You had people outside of the US, abroad in Asia, in Europe, in Latin America, in Australia. You had a lot of people that were actually just working together. So it created this balance where sometimes I would have someone from Hong Kong keep chatting me at midnight and saying my system is breaking. I don't have any drivers on the road and I need these 30 drivers. Otherwise the competition is going to kill me. And you develop this level of compassion about people that makes your company better, because now you want to help each other and you're all in the same boat. So I think this diversity is so very important. And I would ask you to really think when you build your team in very early days how you want to make it happen in a very diverse way. And then you want to make the struggle positive. Building product is hard. And building product at scale is extremely hard. You realize that every 2 months, and it was not every 6 months, it was not every 3 months, every 2 months at Uber, we would be a new company. We would have spun off a new team. We would have created new processes. We would have had new leaders. It was a new company every 2 months. And it was hard because you just need to get outside of your comfort zone and you need to just roll up your sleeves and keep working and get to the next level. As a company, we had to work every New Year's Eve and be on the system every New Year's Eve because it was our biggest night of the year, every single year. And we couldn't miss an opportunity to nail it because the people who use it every day rely on you, and the people who don't use it every day will start using you that night. So we had no chance to fail, because if people get stuck on New Year's Eve and you fail at it, it's going to be a disaster and the worst marketing thing you can do ever. So what Travis did is let's go on a workation. Let's start going somewhere in the world and start working on our system, on monitoring our system on New Year's Eve from an exotic place. And what if we create a week-long workation where you can do a hack for the company and make your product better within a week and then monitor these things from a remote place? Now you make a struggle a positive experience, because all of a sudden you're in an exotic place with people from Uber that you never work with on a regular basis because they come from different places in the world. So you create bonds, and then you get things done, hacks for the company, and then you monitor everything from that place on New Year's Eve. Look at us, working in front of the fireworks in Mexico. And yes, we had fun too, but we worked a lot. But we made the struggle positive in a creative way. And imagine if Travis had said, you all need to be at the office at midnight on New Year's Eve. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. You think it's inspiring? You think it's something you want to do? No, you're going to go to your family and be like, look at this horrible leader. It sucks. I need to be at the office at midnight on New Year's Eve. No, now we're I told my mom, I'm like, Mom, I want to go to Melbourne and launch Uber Melbourne on New Year's Eve. And she's like, well, you seem to like this company and it seems like a great experience. Do it. You'll come back in March. That's what I did. So you need, and this is just an example of what we did at Uber to make the struggle positive, but I want you to think about how you can do it within your own company and within your own product, because sometimes it's going to get extremely hard. And how do you want to make that struggle a positive experience and turn it around? That's leadership. And that's how you build great product, because great products are hard to build, but great products are also fun to build when you do it the right way. So that's it. I want you to remember that before you just roll up your sleeve and execute and get things going, you need to think big, and you need to think big picture. Then I want you to go fast, but I want you to go fast by being innovative and by really thinking really hard about how you can get outside of your comfort zone within your mission. And then please scale your culture, scale your people, scale yourself. It's going to be very uncomfortable, but you need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable and really get it to the next level. This is how you grow. This is how you build great product. And you're a team. And you need to be extremely selfless about nurturing a team of leaders that will one day tell you, I want to build another team, or I want to go to this other team and learn something new. This is leadership. And then it's a big, long career, but still a small world. So you're going to work with these people again. But really think about nurturing these people and really grow these people and grow yourself. With that said, thank you very much. Any questions? Mm-hmm.
Fred, please repeat the question.
Yes. So how do you go about defining the right metrics you want to, the right success metrics out of all the metrics you have to build the right product? It's a tough one, but you really need to look at the big picture. And as a product leader, it's not about just the V1 and just thinking about the next product you need to build, but thinking 2 steps ahead of the game. And you need to really look at, if we focus on these metrics, is it going to be a game changer for now, or is it going to be a game changer for later, or maybe have some negative implication for later? You look at Uber in the early days. We could have made a lot of money with surging, like we had a lot of people that were interested in riding Uber, and we realized that the more people were using Uber, the more they wanted to use Uber. And so it was like, oh my God, like if we're surging, that's probably a good thing because we're making more money, we're taking a cut. But no, this was not what we wanted to do. We could have said, we don't surge because surge is bad, and we just when there is no car, there is no car. But what we wanted to be was a reliable car service. And to be a reliable service, you need to always have cars on the road. And so our priority was really to facilitate getting more liquidity in the system. So you really need to think what are our long-term implications of certain metrics versus others, and really balance it out. It's more of an art than a science, but yeah. That would be Travis. Travis, I think that something I learned is that you need to have a strong leader on top that has a very clear vision about what he wants to accomplish and a very clear mission. I think this was something that I appreciated a lot because just 2 years ago, he announced to us that we would do a partnership with Carnegie Mellon for autonomous vehicles. And I remember him dropping the news in one of the whole hands, and we were all floored. We're like you think about it 2 years ago, now everyone talks about it. But 2 years ago, it was something that was totally surreal. Even Google did a lot of self-driving initiative 5 years ago, and they still haven't gained lots of momentum with it. So when he mentioned that, we're like, okay, we're just spending all that time building systems to onboard drivers, and you're telling us what? This seems weird. But as a leader, you want to keep looking ahead and seeing about what's possible. And even when I talk with entrepreneurs I work with or advise, I ask them, okay, that's great that you have your V1 here, but what's your long-term vision? What are you trying to solve? And where do you want to be in 10 years? It's not just a 1 year, I'm going to raise money. It's what are you going to, tell people that you want to get money from? What do you tell your investors? What do you tell people you're trying to recruit to inspire them to really join you and be part of this experience? So the question is, how do you draw the line between getting into a very lean product development process versus just building the most meaningful MVP? And thank you for the question. It's like an art. It's not a science, but it's really looking at how do you want the experience to look like? Do you want the user to really benefit from your product, or do you want something that is what is your definition of half-baked? Is it something that's going to be very clunky and is going to require a lot of effort and the person is going to give up? Or is it something that's still going to be meaningful and that people want to use? And because even if you have an half-baked product, sometimes that is very clunky, can you get feedback on that product to be able to iterate if people don't get it or they don't have all the features they want? So you need to really think about how you want to build your product to still be meaningful. And I think having these 2 pizza team type of teams that are cross-functional, that are obsessing over this mission for a specific product is very useful because it keeps you in check with creating the right product and keep iterating on that product. If you have a product like driver engagement and driver acquisition that are competing all the time, you're going to want to build a product that is sometimes too bloated because you're afraid that once you move to the next thing, you're not going to be able to address it. But if you have a small enough team that is really agile and is obsessing about one specific mission, you can really think about like, what is the thing that we are trying to address and how can we address it in a most meaningful way? Oh, is there one around here? Here, yeah. There are a lot of ways to use a test. I would ask coworkers. I would ask friends. We would use our own product. We would have pushes of the app and use the product ourselves and see how it works. I got lucky to work on the driver experience and the employee experience where my customers were internal people. So I would go to them and just like show the product to them and really like do like face-to-face user studies. You can use user testing. It works as well. There are a lot of ways you can do it, but I like to just sit down with people that are not familiar with the product and just see how they react to it. So that's where the mission becomes very important. So to repeat the question, how do you mobilize a team that doesn't report to you directly to buy into the mission and to buy into the product development process and be partners, right? So that's the trickiest part of being a product manager is that you don't control anything. As much as I've been talking to people and they think that I'm a total control freak, I'm like, if I try to control things or if I try to tell people what to do, they can either move to a new team within the company or they can find another job. Like, it's easy in the valley. So you cannot tell people what to do. What you can do is inspire them. And if you have a very clear mission, it's much easier to inspire them. And if you have very clear metrics and you're able to measure the impact, you have a better way, you have a better way to be able to rally everyone besides you. So my way of doing things is to really inspire people to work, to buy into the mission, and to also be part of the process. Yes, at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one who's going to be decisive and say, this is what we're going to do and move forward. But before that, I want everyone to jump in and to really help define the product. Like, let's brainstorm together. Let's have people in the room and look at how we can approach that, keeping in mind that we have a mission and we have metrics to hit. So we can always go back to this if we have like a contention on the way to go about it. And then it's also building trust. I've done product for 15 years and it's like, okay, we're going to pick our battle here. Here I'm going to say, this is what I believe in, but if you feel strongly, let's try it out. Give a little bit leeway to your engineers to kind of sometimes try it out. They're the one coding. You want to empower them to kind of take a bit of leadership and try it. But then if it doesn't work out, let's go back to it and be like, you know what? Next time let's do it a little bit better. Like, let's listen to me. I'm not always right, but sometimes I'm always right. But you want to really inspire your engineers and really look at, like, being a team. You're one team. And you want to have fun together, because when it's hard, you want to still have fun, and you want to show to them that you care about their growth. And sometimes, there are things they're going to do that they're not excited about, but sometimes you're going to try your best to get them to work on the projects they really are passionate about. So you need to show that, you're a team player and you really care about making the experience as positive and as fun as possible. How do you inspire your team to give 110% and not burn out? I think I was the one to burn out most of the time. We would all give it like our 200% all the time, because we believed in the mission. Like, we believed in changing the way people move around cities. We believed, like, my aunt in south of France was an Uber driver to complement her retirement pension. Like, this is powerful when you think about, in south of France, your aunt is actually an Uber driver. So it's like, when you feel like it's touching you personally and it gets you to work every morning, like, when it's a product that is so meaningful, you will want to give it your 110%. And you want also to get people to understand the impact they have within the organization. Like, my second team at Uber was the employee experience. And it was not sexy. It was building dashboard on top of Workday to be able to onboard employees as fast as possible, to get them up to speed on day one when they join Uber, because we were hiring hundreds of people every month, like actual full-time employees. So how do you inspire people to build back-end system to onboard employees? They cannot even brag about this to their friends when they go to a party. Like, I build a dashboard to onboard what? Like, drivers, no, employees. So they can have access to HipChat and to Slack and to Zendesk. Not sexy. But if you give them the real impact they have, like, by saving people an hour a day, this is how you impact the bottom line of the business. When you get people on day one, when they start their job, a laptop, that they can order their Photoshop license right there with one click, and they have everything set up in their environment within 2 hours of joining the company, with Uber credit on their account to come to the office for their first day. This is powerful. You're making an experience that will be incredible, and it's you doing it for people all around the world, for these employees in 400 cities. And then they come to Uberversity, our monthly training for people who just got hired to come to HQ to learn about the business. And you facilitated that. This is powerful. So you really need, as a leader, to be like, this is the impact you're making on the company. And if we don't hire these people, and if the engineering manager was hiring 5 people every week, is spending his time onboarding these engineers and cannot get any work done, he cannot get, like, the company will go crazy. But if you're building all this system, we can actually scale and hire more engineers that will work on driver tools and rider tools that will change the world. You have to tell a story. And that's very powerful.
One more question.
Where? Go. Relationships, like hire people you used to work with, that you want to work with, because you enjoy working with them. And I remember, like, one of my engineers referred a friend that joined another team at Uber, and he's like, Frederick, can I move to this other team so I can work with my friend? And you're like, oh, yeah, it sucks, but I want you to do good work and to keep working together because you have a trusted relationship. So I think the best way to hire people is to really look at your network and work with people you used to work with, because you know how these people work. They have an emotional connection to you, so they will be more likely to join the company once they get an offer, because it's a very competitive market. So you want, like, the best way to do it would be to do it through your personal network. And I know my friend Hao that I worked with 10 years ago at Yahoo. I gave her a call, and a year after I gave her the call, she decided to join Uber. Sometimes it's not happening overnight, but I think the way to do it is really to look at the people you work with and really like rally them and get them to work with you.
Frédéric, thank you very much.
Let's take a selfie with everyone. Wait.
So this is a book for you.
Thank you guys. It was fun.
Awesome, thank you. You can have a seat here. All right, question for you guys, right here. Question for you guys. How many of you have been here before? This is not your first time here. Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of people. How many of you have been here more than 3 times? Bunch of people. Okay, we love that. We have every month about half of the people who come here have been here before, and I love it. It means we're doing something valuable. And so what we're doing is we have this program called Members That Count. And when you come 5 times during the year, we give you like a free invitation to our cool holiday party. We give you a discount to our events next year. So you still have like tonight and then next month to become a member that counts if that matters to you. It's really important to me. What we're going to do next is we're going to, we're going to do a section called shout outs. So shout out is if you're launching a new product, you're looking for a job, you want to hire somebody, please line up here and you'll get 10 seconds to pitch your idea to the group. While people gather up here, one thing that I want to tell you is a few months ago, I published a book on what it takes to build great mobile products. That book has sold about 10,000 copies, and many of you have it. I'm going to be signing a few copies here in the back. Another thing I want to tell you while people gather here is I'm also investing in companies and in products that count. So if you have a company that's based in the Bay Area and has raised some money before, come talk to me. I'd love to talk about helping you get to the next level. All right.
Hi there. This is my first time here today. My name is Kelly. I'm a product manager at a company called Smart Recruiters, and I actually have 2 announcements tonight. One, we are hiring a lot of people right now. We have an opening open for product manager. So if you are interested in that, you should definitely go on our site and check it out, or you can talk to me. I'll hang around for like another 15 minutes. And then second announcement, we're also hosting a meetup. Our meetup is about hiring and actually recruiting technology. So if you're interested in that space, if you've ever applied to a job, that's what Smart Recruiters does. We're the technology platform that helps companies to hire talent. Our meetup is on November 15th. It's going to be on machine learning and AI and how that is disrupting recruiting technology. So if you want to talk about that, I'll be somewhere over here. That's it. Thanks.
All right, welcome. You get a copy of my book for being the first one. Come on and run.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Ren, and I work for this exciting, fast-paced startup in 2 blocks away from here. The company is called Amplitude Analytics, and we build a great event-based analytics tools for all product people like you guys. And our mission is to help people building better products that count. And of course, we are growing and we're looking for a special product manager. So if you're interested, I'll be hanging out a little bit after this and come talk to me or check out Amplitude Analytics.
So Ron doesn't need a book because Ron is the talented designer who designed the cover of this book. Thank you, Ron. And Amplitude is an awesome company. I work with them a lot. They're a great company to work with.
So we just heard a talk from someone who was involved in helping to build the future of transportation. I'm the head of product for a company called ZenDrive, where we're making the future of transportation safer. Speaking of scaling, We just crossed 1 billion miles of driving data analyzed. That's B with a billion. And that's scaling exponentially. We're also scaling the product team. So we're looking for 1 or 2 really exceptional product managers. If you have a data science and machine learning background combined with building data products, come talk to me. If you've great experience creating awesome mobile products, come talk to me. And if you have experience creating products that help change behavior in some way, come talk to me. Again, my name is Rob. I'll be in the back.
All right, you get a copy of my book as well. Thank you.
So it's just a transportation-filled night because I work for a company called Carlypso, and our mission is to bring car sales entirely online and hopefully provide a better user experience to that whole process rather than going to a physical dealership. I'm Kate. I'm a PM there, and we're currently hiring for 2 positions, a Python full-stack engineer and a UX designer. So if you think you might be interested, I'll be in the back, and I'd happy to talk to you about the team.
Thank you. You also get a copy of my book. That's the last one. Let's try to speed it up a little bit.
I'm just going to stand there so I get 1 more second. Here we go. So I'm a product manager, but I don't work for a transportation company. I'm co-organizing TEDx Soma in June 2017, and we're looking for amazing speakers, meaning artists, scientists, people with vision, someone who's blown your mind lately. Just come find me, tell me their name, I'll find them as well. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Allie McKee. As product managers, you all appreciate the importance of user testing. I'm looking for users because I'm building a product for product managers. And what we're doing is we have a piece of software that turns structured bullets into visuals. So think about it's automated design, so you can communicate visually with your team on a daily basis without, iterating with your designers. So if you're willing to give it a try and to talk to me, I'll be right over here. Would love to have you guys help us build the product. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Sonia Sarao. I am Director of Product at Flux Labs. We are at the junction of technology and philanthropy. We make grants management solution for foundations, nonprofits, and we are getting into impact space. So looking for mid to senior level product manager. I'll be in the back if you guys, and I also have your book already on the Kindle, so I'm reading it.
Hey everyone, my name is John, and I recently left my corporate finance job to transition to product management. So I guess the first one to look for a job. Thank you. With my kind of non-traditional background, I think I'd offer a new perspective or a different view. So if you have any entry to mid-level roles or just like talking about your products in general, I'd love to chat and maybe grab coffee sometime. Thanks.
How you doing? My name's Aiden. I've spent a little while looking at the market for products that make working better, stuff like culture, engagement, goal setting, things like that. If you want to learn some of what I have learned, come talk to me. Or if you can help me learn more about that area, I'd like to talk to you. Thanks.
Hi there, this is Bhavin. I have just recently founded a company called Count Us In. The mission is to make people meet physically in real world and as opposed to Facebook, to get them away from Facebook and do things like this. So I'm looking for feedback, certainly from product managers, and I'm specifically looking to talk to somebody who has experience in UX. So the MVP is already there. It's www.countus.in, but I'm certainly looking to take it to V2. So thank you.
Hey guys. Wow, that's a lot of people here. My name is Ashwat. I work at a company called Quizlet. And Quizlet is in the education space. We are used by 25% of high school students in the US, and we are growing internationally. So we are one of the top websites in the US. We have like 40 million users a month. So we are growing our employee count. Like we doubled in the last year, and we are looking for product managers, engineers. If you're interested in education, please talk to me. I'm going to be around there. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Mona. I'm a product manager at a SaaS company that uses machine learning to capture handwritten data at 99.9% accuracy. We are looking for a very talented UI UX designer, and we're well funded, Series C. I'll be over there.
Hi everyone, my name is Liz, and I'm an associate product manager at SendGrid in the labs division. So this is within R&D. we're responsible for ideation and concept validation. So looking for new products that our customers like Uber would be interested in using. So we're looking for an associate software engineer, senior software engineer, and a senior PM that I can learn from. I'll be in the front.
Hi everyone, my name is Fiona. I was an entrepreneur and then I turned corporate VC, but I always have this like product itch. So I actually built a product like, using mobile phone to request a drone to escort you home, and a product along the side of changing the temperature of your clothes using a mobile phone. And I really want to be a product manager. So if anybody is looking for more entry-level girl, then I'm your girl. And special thanks and special love to the APM at Yelp, Davis, who is like right back there. Thank you for mentoring me.
All right. Thank you very much. So a few more things. In your email, in your inbox, you have an email from me, and we take feedback super seriously. We started measuring. Can I please ask for one more minute? Please ask for one more minute. We started measuring feedback after every one of our events at the beginning of the year. Can I have one more minute, please, in the back? And we take that super seriously. It's very helpful to us. It's very helpful to our speakers. So please take 1 minute to give us feedback. We do that the product way with the Net Promoter Score. And then last thing is, next month on November 16th, we are hosting somebody who doesn't give a lot of talks and who is a pricing guru. And that's a topic that in Silicon Valley we don't necessarily like to talk about a lot, is how do you price your product? So this talk is actually really exciting. I'm personally very interested in hearing more about his methodology and his case studies. We have a few early bird tickets left. So I hope you come, and I hope to see you next month. There's another 30 minutes of networking, a little bit of pizza left and some beer, and then please keep Yelp clean when you leave. See you next month.